Welcome to the warm-up. Hey everybody, I'm Neil Beasley. We're in round 2 of the playoffs. This is where we start to get that separation between good and great. Let's get you warmed up. Half the playoff field has been eliminated, and as we reach the area round, the intensity picks up. Let's preview some of the key second-round matchups in the lineup. Willis is taking on Tomball at Planet Ford Stadium this Friday, which should be a dynamite area round game. Willis has scored at least 63 points in their last 5 games and hasn't had a competitive battle since week 4. That's when they beat the Woodlands on a last-second field goal. One thing's for sure, Tomball is no cream puff, so the Cats are going to have to strap it up. Everybody in the state has been talking about Willis do-everything athlete, Jermaine Bishop. But someone needs to get him the ball, and that person is quarterback Jack Emerson. He's made the transition from All-American DJ Lagway to himself a very smooth one. And if you ask analysts across the state, they will tell you that this year's Wildcats might be better than last year's squad. Their defense has been stingier than last year, and Trey Lawrence has provided a punch out of the backfield. However, Tomball is a playoff-tested team. Much has been said about their deep playoff runs over the past 3 years, and the Cougars want to make this one even longer. They've won games by wide margins, and they've pulled out W's in the closing seconds. Dave Handel's team has proven to do whatever it takes to get the victories. Oswaldo Morales out of the backfield has been as consistent as any other tailback in Houston, and the Cougs will be relying on him to help them control the time of possession. This one should be quite the matchup with a trip to the regional semifinals on the line. We mentioned before that 6A Division I would be quite the gauntlet for whichever Houston area Region 3 team comes out of it. Perfect example is the defending Region 3 champs, North Shore. They had their quote-unquote easy game of the playoffs last week when they beat 24 6A tri-champion Deer Park. Next up, Bridgepoint. A game we'd be excited to see. Wow, state semis or something. Well, it's an area round tussle now. As we know, the Mustangs are made for these type matchups, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They're led by Devin Sanchez and Charles Ross. But they will have their hands full trying to contain one of Houston's most elusive dual-threat quarterbacks, Austin Carlisle of Ridgepoint. Panthers have a solid secondary as well, so North Shore's big-time dual-threat Caleb Bailey will have a problem on his hands as well. 2 explosive offenses going up against 2 powerhouse defenses should make for an interesting matchup. This one will take place at the Rig in Pearland. Get there early to claim your seat.
The warm-up is brought to you by the Houston area Chevy dealers. Come in and test the all-new Silverado today. And by DQ for treats and eats before and after the game. Also by Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today. The Big 12 and SEC are headed to Houston for the 2024 Texas Bowl at NRG Stadium on New Year's Eve. Join the waitlist now at thetexasbowl.com.
We caught up to a big-time athlete from the Houston area in this week's Recruiting Trail.
My name is Cobey. Man, honestly, a coach that's going to keep it real with me. When I talk to the players, how do they feel about the coach? Like, what's the difference between the recruiting process and how it is when you get up there? Because that's a real thing. Like, you expect somebody to be one way and they be a different way. So that's something I really look into, personalities. Man, honestly, just a place where I can go in, get experience, play behind guys that done it, get in, play, have a coach that has done it before, and so somebody I can put my trust into. Man, honestly, on the field, I like to talk. I'm starting to get that. I like to talk. I'm a man player, that's my thing. Like, I go up there, take you out the game, have you frustrated the whole game. But off the field, I'm pretty quiet. Like, I don't really say too much. I'm real observant, real laid back, real chill guy. Man, honestly, like, if you give me, we coming to play, like, you know, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna make sure we win games, and I'm gonna do my best. Honestly, go as far as in the playoffs as we can. Hopefully we can make it to state, but, you know, do it for my team, make sure we have a good season. The legacy I want to leave here, honestly, you know, have players that can come back and say that I did it. Like, players that when we get older, they can say, oh, I played with Cobey Sellers. He was this type of player. This is what you want to be like. Players that's coming up from the freshman, sophomore, junior level, like, look what Cobey did last year. Look what he did during his high school career, and be a role model for those players.
The warm-up is brought to you by the Houston area Chevy dealers. Come in and test drive the all-new Silverado today. And by Randall's, fresh foods, local flavors. Also by the UPS store. Be unstoppable.
There's so many more big games this week in the area round, so here's a preview of some other huge matchups in the hype. In 5A, Barbers Hill meets up with LaPorte at Galena Park ISD for a nice Division I battle. After starting the season 0-3, the Bulldogs of LaPorte are on a heater, 8 dubs in a row, including sweeping through district play. Tyrese Barnes, Ricky Sandoff, Sean Simon. The LaPorte ground attack comes at you in waves, and when it comes out of that wing T offense, opposing defenses can't figure out who's got the pill. Then there's Barbers Hill, a team who just scored 84 points in the by-district round. To say this game should be fun is an understatement. The Eagles like to air it out with Bryson Wells and Jaden Rodriguez as their dynamic pitch-and-catch duo. We expect a high-scoring affair with a trip to the regional semis on the line. We haven't talked much about Houston-Lamar this season. They had a rough non-district. With the lack of competition the Texans faced in district play, Michael Lindsay's bunch slid under the radar. However, their first-round victory over Cy-Fair has garnished some attention. Much like LaPorte, Lamar lost their first 3 and then won 8 in a row. However, the Texans are producing wins through their defense, and when they take on Fulshire at Rhodes Stadium on Friday, it'll be their defense that will need to keep them close because Fulshire has an offense that has scored 6 touchdowns a game for the last 10 games. Not too shabby, my friends. Chargers just manhandling every opponent during that span. They have 2 huge signature wins against Pearland and Ridge Point to bolster that resume as well. The question is, will they find their run through the 6A playoffs to be tough sledding? And furthermore, will it be difficult not to look ahead to a potential third-round matchup with the Atascocita? We shall see this Friday night. Hey, that'll do it for today's show. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope we get you warmed up for Texas high school football playoff action, round 2.